So do you have those pesky smile lines and marionette lines which start from the jawline all the way up past the lips and to the nose? Well, we can do some really great facial massage exercises to really help soften those by using a Gua Sha tool. I'm Ali, I've been a facialist for the last 8 years and I'm really passionate to really help you on your skincare journey. Now, first things first, you want to start off with clean skin and also a clean Gua Sha tool here. So you want to make sure it's been previously washed in some light soapy water and then finished off with a little bit of a cool rinse at the end. So if you like, you can also place it in the fridge if you want a slightly more cooling effect before applying to the skin as well. Now, once you've done that, you can, if you like, use a facial oil or a face cream. I'm using a facial oil because whatever you apply is going to really penetrate in even better using the Gua Sha tool, but also whatever you do apply to your skin is going to penetrate even better and deeper. So if you have a skincare product with great ingredients, it's really going to help as well. So almost double bubbling in a way, if you like. So just placing it onto the fingers and then just very gently patting it lower part of the face, by the nose here, and under the cheekbones, along the facial area and the jawline, and then just work a little bit of the facial oil in front and behind the ear and just down the side of the neck, down to the collarbone. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take the tool here and we're going to use the top part, which is almost like the top of a love heart if you like, placing one hand as an anchor so we're not stretching or pulling at the skin, and then we're just going to lift very lightly all the way along past the mouth towards the nostril, and then just at the top just give a little wiggle under the under the cheekbone here. Now, I like to use my Gua Sha tool fairly flat for more surface area, and you want it to be nice and fairly light to medium touch. And we're moving toxins and waste as well within the lymph. And one more time, gliding up and just wiggling by the cheek area. And then on the other side, fingers as an anchor, just so you're not dragging at the skin, placing the top part almost upside down onto the jawline and just very gently gliding along past the mouth towards the nose and under the cheekbone. Smoothing out all those fine lines and wrinkles. And one last time. So what we're going to do now is, with this sort of bit at the bottom here, if you like, it's almost at a point, and we start to get the marionette lines and the smile lines almost start from either side of the nostril and then work their way down. And this part here is really important. One, it's a great acupressure point, but two, you can hold plenty of tension in these areas. So we want to release this area using the Gua Sha tool to really help soften these lines. So taking the point, placing it between the nose and where the cheekbone is, and you can just very lightly work in a round circular motion, releasing any tight tension within this area. And then you can go a little bit deeper if you like, and then just going the other way, nice and light to begin with. If you want to, you can also take a couple of deep belly breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth to really help with blood flow, circulation, but also to calm down the nervous system as well. And on the other side, so again, taking parts here and then just very gently placing it between the cheekbone and the nose, that little indentation here. Going one way and then the other. And going a bit deeper if you like as well. Now we're going to take this part of the tool, which is almost like the curve, almost like a bow shape. We're going to again place our hand as an anchor, and we're going to start first of all from the jawline, from where those marionette and smile lines can almost fade out, And then we're going to work our way up. So placing hand as an anchor and just gently gliding along all the way to the ear. And then when you get to the ear, if you can again, just give it a little wiggle just to get the lymphatics going. Now you don't have to use a facial oil, but I do tend to find by using a facial oil, you do get a better slip and glide. Now, I'm in my mid-50s, so obviously you're losing collagen, elastin, so you end up with slightly more sagging skin. So by using a facial oil and also by using your hand as an anchor, you're not dragging or pulling. And again, all the way at the lower part, nice and mindful, keeping the rest of the face nice and relaxed. And then we're going to go between the nose and also the jawline now, so slightly further up. Again, this is a fairly light touch, you don't want to be dragging at all. Working all the way along. And then slightly further up, so this part here of the tool is almost where the nostril is. And again, placing hand and just very gently gliding along. Lower part of the face. This will also smooth out any other fine lines and wrinkles in the process. And then on the other side, starting from this part, from the bottom of the jawline. I always want to swallow when I'm doing this. I think it's because we're moving toxins and waste within the lymph. You can really feel things moving along. So this is why I like to use my Gua Sha tool nice and flat, so you gain more surface area rather than the scraping effect. But if you do prefer to use it in a slightly different way, that's fine too. It's quite nice to almost have a little bit of me time. So it may take a bit more time, but it's actually very nice, calming and relaxing. And then a bit further up from the nose all the way down to the jawline. Now, this is quite a nice one to do in the evening. Obviously, you can do it any time of the day, but because it is, you kind of like calm down the nervous system. So I quite like to do this in the evening after a hard day of work. So now we're going to take the tool here and we're going to again place our hand onto our jawline. We're coming up all the way as far as we can to the cheekbone, turning lightly and then coming all the way along towards the ears. So we're almost combining both of those two other movements together. And again, this is nice and light. And then one last time. Now we do get smile lines and also marionette lines. Sometimes it can be how we sleep. If you sleep on a particular side, you can create lines and wrinkles. So obviously you want to be mindful of how you hold your expression. Also, if you're droopy in the mouth, you're going to end up with more smile lines and marionette lines as well. So you want to be slightly elevated and just being mindful of how you sleep and actually how you hold your position of your face. Even during the daytime, makes such a difference to lines and wrinkles as well. The thing is, once the skin has been broken on these sections, you can smooth it out, but there are other ways as well which we can improve these naturally. But then at the end of the day, you know, if you had no wrinkles and you're in your 50s and 60s, it would look slightly, I think, weird. It shows that you've actually had part of a life and it's actually to be enjoyed having the odd wrinkle, to be honest. Now, the other thing we don't want to be doing is you do not want to be dragging and pulling at the skin that way, because then you'll make your lines here even more prominent, because you'll be tearing almost at the skin here where you would have those lines. So you want to be very fine and delicate and mindful when doing anything with the smile lines and the marionette lines. So once we've done that, I'm just going to give a couple of light moves again, lower part of the face. And on the other side. And then on this part here, from the chin here, a great acupressure point. So let's just massage that in a round circular motion. And then where the corners of the mouth are, again, other acupressure points. So from the corner of the mouth, almost the middle of those marionette and smile lines, again, if you can just give that a nice little light massage one way and then the other. Now, I do have a community if you want to check that out for more like-minded people who are actually really interested in natural skincare and facial massage and facial yoga. And then just do the other side here where the other acupressure point is, other side of the mouth. And then massage the other way. And then between the nose and the mouth. And then just go the other way as well. And then finally, I know we've done this before, but we just want to finish off this lower part of the face with those acupressure points. So just either side of the nose, one way and then the other. Again, relaxing the nervous system and calming everything down. And then where the cheekbone is, from the eye all the way down, again, let's just massage around circular motion with the tool. And then the other way. And then on the other side of the face. And then the other way. It's a really good idea if you can do this in mirror as well, because it will really help. You can sort of see what you're actually doing. And then again, just smoothing things out again. Moving toxins and waste within the lymph, which will also help with glowing skin. And then we're going to take this part of the tool, the top part here, and we're just gently gliding now down the front of the ear where we have plenty of lymph nodes. And then behind the ear. And then for this part here, which cups really nicely under the ear here, and just gently gliding down the big SEM muscle down to the collarbone. Again, nice and light. A little wiggle with the tool when you get to the collarbone, and then finishing off on the other side here. And then the back of the ear. Now I do have my own facial oil now, so I will leave that in the description box below if you'd like to just check that out. It also contains one of my favourite ingredients, which is castor oil, but also rosehip oil and argan oil, which will really help, particularly if you have older skin. And it's not too greasy, and it's got a very nice gentle scent as well without being too overpowering. So then once we've done that, we want to take our tool and then we're just going to place it down for the moment because we just want to finish off with our lymphatic drainage release, which is so important. We've moved all the toxins and waste from these smile lines, lower part of the face towards the ears, and now we've moved it down to the collarbone. So with our fingers, where our collarbone is, we have indentations above, and if you just give those all along here some gentle presses, this will release all the toxins and waste into the body, ready for elimination. And then once we've done that, we can also then take our tool, again, wash it in some light soapy water, and then just give it a final rinse, ready for next use in some cool water. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please comment down below, tell me how you found it today and if you found it nice and relaxing. And again, if you keep doing this with the Gua Sha tool, you'll find the lower part of your face will be so much smoother and feel great, particularly if you use a good product. And then also, if you're not already subscribed, sorry, I know it's long-winded, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing. It really does help the algorithm push me out. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye.